Hey Gosus, welcome in. I'm Redmage from It's Gosu. I'm going to be giving you a quick little hell guide here for the goddess of the underworld here on SMITE. Now, Hell is a really awesome character because she is so multi-talented. Not only can she deal damage in her dark form, which you see right here, but she can also heal up in her light form, which we'll see later on, because you actually get that switch as your ultimate or your number 4 ability. So we're going to get underway here and see what we can get here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at her stats just to see what she's got going on here. Looking at a lot of her abilities, Decay. Now the ones that aren't in parentheses are actually her light side abilities. So you'll see those. But we won't really talk about those until after level 4. So, but her first ability is Decay. Now what's really great about Decay is that it does damage. She'll fire it out, does a whole bunch of damage, and it adds like a percentage per level plus whatever magic damage you've got going on, and it explodes out in a 15-foot radius. So it's really, really good for taking out creeps or taking out groups of champions. Her second ability is called Hinder. Now what that's going to do is that's going to there a little diskette will appear on the ground. It'll actually debuff the enemy. So if they've got speed or protection or anything, it reduces that. It reduces their magical protection as well. So giving you an ability, the ability to do a lot more damage to them, and it slows them. So it's a really, really big, a really big crowd control thing that she can do there with that Hinder. Now, what Repulse is, if you get surrounded or you're in the middle of a team fight, you hit Repulse. That's going to blow out a bunch of energy. Does a stacking per level damage, and it adds in all of your a percentage of your magical damage. So it's really, really awesome for going in and trying to damage a lot of enemies very, very quickly. So to start off with, we're just going to go ahead and get that Decay, because that's awesome. So I'm not going to pop that menu up anymore. I'm just going to hit the fast buttons of F1, F2, F3, and F4. So it's really fantastic. It's going to be really quick so I can keep the action going. But we're also going to go in here. We're going to start buying up our items. Now to start off with, what I like to go with, she has some really good recommended items. The Boots of the Magi, the Obsidian Shard, the Hide of the Leviathan, the Book of Thoth, the Pythagorean's Piece, and the Rod of I don't even know how to say that, but the Rod of Tahuti. I just call it the Rod of Tahuti. The first thing I like to go for is the Boots of the Magi. I get second stack. I've been sitting here for a little while, so that's why I get a little bit more gold. But to start off with, you want to go right with the level 2 Boots of the Magi and a couple of health potions to get out there, get in the lane, do a lot of damage. But consider we've been sitting here for a little bit, we have the ability to get a little bit more than we usually do. So I'm going to go with the Obsidian Shard. The reason why I went with the Obsidian Shard is it gives me magic penetration, so which means I do more damage. So whatever magic shielding that they've got, I'm going to eat right through that. So that's something really good to have for Hell to have, especially for her dark side. Alright, so here we go. We're going to get right in here. You can see that little blue arrow is where her normal attacks are going to go. So you can hit, choose where you want it to go. And of course we're just fighting in the simple 1v1 practice one right there, so it's nothing too super huge. So I went ahead and got Repulse as my second ability, so that way I can come in here and eliminate large groups. You can see that go off right there. You can take out large groups or do large mass damage. Can't really kill anything off right now because I'm just so low as far as level and as far as items, but as you go through, you're going to do a whole lot more. The third ability I pick up is Hinder. That's just going to debuff them just a little bit more. You can see that that's going to go off there. Boom. It's going to slow them down for just a little bit. I can get in there and do some damage. There you go. There's that Decay. You saw that go out right there. And oh, I'm taking a lot of damage. But you saw that go out, do huge amounts of damage right there, and kind of splatter out. So really, really good. And then I'm just going to start. I'm going to keep leveling up that Decay. But first I'm going to go ahead and go back. Right there. Now, I, of course, am playing on the Redmagejr Hex mouse, so what I've done is I've actually put all of my abilities right here on the thumb drive. So if you haven't seen that, go to itsgosu.com, check out the review of the Redmagejr Hex, because it does phenomenal work, especially for a game like SMITE. You can do so much with it. But it just makes things easier, because normally when you're moving, you've got your Wasid movement, you've got your abilities in 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it may be a little difficult for some people to get used to that, and you don't want to get frustrated with the game before you realize how incredibly great this game really is. So I definitely recommend picking up the Razer Naga Hex mouse, because it's so cool. So here we go. We're going to start off with the Decay. We're going to go in right here with her combo. We're going to hit those back archers first, then we're going to hit it up with, there you go. So you saw me just really eliminate all of them really quickly with the Decay, and then I did a follow-up, with my number 3, my Repulse. And now I've picked up my number 4 ability, which is my ability to switch. So I've taken a little bit of damage, so I'm going to hit the number 4 and switch over. Whatever you've already picked up as an ability, you get at that stage, like for your 1, 2, 3, and 4. So another good reason to pick up the Decay is also because as you level it up, it becomes restoration under your healing guide. So you can see I took a little bit of damage. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit this out. It basically does the same thing, but it heals you up at the same time. So we're going to take a look. We're going to go back to the ability screen here real quick. So Decay is now restoration, restores you for increasing amount plus your magic. Then you've got Cleanse. Now what Cleanse is going to do, that's your number 2 ability. It's going to buff all of your allies around there, removing all of the crowd control that's going on instantly and protecting them from future ones for about a second. What's really great about that is if you're fighting something like Wukong and he throws that party and everybody's kind of dancing around and not being able to do anything for a couple of seconds, you click that Cleanse off, everybody's back in the fight and instantaneously ready to go. No problem. Inspire is your 3rd ability. Now what that's going to do is that bursts out the white energy that you kind of did with Repulse, but it's white energy, so it heals up your surrounding allies, not just your champions, but it heals up your minions as well, and it increases their movement speed by 20%. So it's really effective for doing a whole lot of stuff very quickly. So there we go. So since I'm almost pretty much fully healed, I'm going to go ahead and throw that out. I'm going to throw my restoration out there a little bit, heal up just a little bit more. And see, there we go. I'm going to heal that guy up just a little bit more. Take those guys out. And now I'm going to switch back over to my dark side. See how quick that is? You can just keep doing that. You can keep going. Look how quickly I wipe those guys out. Now I'm going to go for my Repulse. Oh, I'm going to flip. I need to heal up a little bit more. Heal those guys up. I'm going to buff them at the same time, so that way they can get the increased buffness going on there. I'm going to continue to heal myself up. Now I'm going to switch over and deal damage to the Mana Core. And I completely botched that one up. There you go. I'm going to debuff that guy so he can't get away. Now the reason why you also want to increase your switching stance, your number 4, which I hit the wrong button, and I didn't do, that actually increases the amount of mana you regenerate for your passive. With your passives, your magic power, you get a magic power buff in your dark stance, but in your light stance, you actually get a mana regeneration buff. So upping those really does does help you out a lot in being able to stay in the combat and really being able to do a whole lot of damage and or healing. So keep that in mind.
Now you will know.
So there you go. You see me just wiping things out wholesale right there. Go ahead and pick up my pickup right there. That Mana Core took a whole lot of damage right off the bat. And now that my minions are in here, I'm just going to continue to do damage to the tower. We're going to be able to take this out really fast. The Mana Core is going back. The next line of minions is coming in, so we're going to hit them with the explosive burst there. And that, and then we're going to heal up. Well, nobody, because I was a little late on that. There we go, now we've reached level 11. I'm going to keep my burst up.
Now you will know.
So there you go. You see how much damage you do to the target, and we really haven't picked anything up. So far we just have level 2 boots of the Magi and level 1 Obsidian. So we're doing pretty good. So we're going to sneak into the jungle here real quick. We're going to go back. We're gonna buy up. We're gonna heal up. We need to, so we see that, you know, in order to do a whole lot of damage really quickly, we need to get some more mana regeneration. So looking through here, you want some mana regeneration. That's cool. We can get that, no problem. But another thing that I definitely recommend is the Book of the Thoth, because it does. You're looking at it. It gives 100 magic, 125 mana, and 15 magic for 5 seconds. So we're just gonna go ahead and buy that one all the way up, right off the bat. And that's going to be amazing for us to have that mana regen coupled with our passive in our white form. So one thing you really want to be wary of, if you start burning through a lot of mana in your dark stance, just switch over to light stance and regenerate that mana really quickly. Buff that guy down. I'm going to hit him. And you can see Hell's got a really good range for all of her stuff. See, we did some serious damage to that. We've taken down the center turret.
Your team
I'm going to heal up
enemy
those
tower.
guys.
Now you will know.
Now, the one thing you do have to be aware of is that even if you deal damage in your dark stance, if you flip over light stance, you still have a little bit of a cooldown for it, so it's not like you can keep switching back and forth depending on what you want to do. You've got to be really careful of that. Now, a couple of really good buffs for Hell to get is, of course, the mana regeneration, but it's also the cooldown reduction. So if you come over here, you get cooldown reduction from the, if you can see in the upper right hand corner, it's got the map, the item in the upper left hand corner right here. That's kind of what you want to pick up, because that's going to reduce your cooldowns and really going to help you out.
Now you will know.
So there you go. There's Redmage's guy. Well, actually, I can't really say that that's the end of it, because I got to show you what else to buy, because you need to know what else to buy. Pick up Pythagorean's piece, because that's a really good piece to have there. Level that little sucker up, and get the Rod of Tahuti, because that's going to increase your magical power by 25% when it's all said and done, and you're going to be doing so much massive damage that it's going to be unstoppable. So once you level up those 4, now I like to use the 6th item as kind of like a gimme. Like, what, you know, if I find that I need to, like, keep my protection up, because maybe they've got a lot of protection and I'm taking a lot more damage than I should, get the Hide of the Leviathan. It's perfect. It gives you health, it gives you mana, physical and magical protection, absolutely essential for Hell. And you can always customize that too. If you see that they've got a lot more magic damage and you're taking a lot more of that, you can kind of equate that a little bit differently. You can go with with the Magi's Blessing, because that gives you 50 magical protection, gives you health, it gives you mana, plus it absorbs 1 ability hit. So I like that if I'm taking a lot of magic damage from, you know, like Artemis is really good for it, or like Ra when he hits you with that Sunbeam. So it's good to have. For heavy defense, if they tend to be going very heavily defensive, a big thing to go for with that would probably be the Breastplate of Valor, because it reduces your cooldowns, plus it gives you the physical protection, and you get a lot more mana. So those are just some tips right there for some things that are really good to get. And I'm Redmagejr with its Gosu, giving you the guide to Hell for SMITE.